back. Let me get you caught up to speed. Last night at Mastro's near the Metro, a group of maestros met to fight and toil and burn the midnight oil to muster the greatest segment in all of sports television. It's an honor and a privilege. It's time for Nick's Tears.
Wildes, thank you for the wonderful introduction, as always. And as we reveal the eliminated group, let me say this. I'm proud of the committee.
Why is
the
that?
committee started eliminating teams in week 8. And we can show who's off the tiers, the eliminated. You know how many teams we had to uneliminate? You know how many teams were like, oh my God, they're 0.
Frisky Bengals.
Guess what? Bengals? We never had, well, the Bengals didn't get eliminated until last week. And so that's the eliminated tiers now to the teams still alive. Bottom of them, even your fans don't want this, guys. No, they don't. The fans are ready for these seasons to be over. I know you can still make the playoffs, all you guys. The Vikings, it was a valiant effort, but this quarterback situation. The Saints, it's ready for another year of Dennis Allen. Good luck with that. And the Falcons, you got to find a quarterback. I'm sure Lamar Jackson wouldn't have worked for you. Next, participation trophy. Listen, let me defend participation trophies for a minute.
Sure.
I'm 39 years old. When I was a kid, played youth soccer. At the end of the year, even if we didn't do well, we got a small trophy. Not as big as the trophy the champions get, but you get something. And people were like, oh, no, that's terrible. That's not what life is. That's not what real life is. It's not? Are you the best at your job? No, you get a participation trophy. You know what it's called? Your weekly paycheck.
No,
give me a break. All of life is participation trophy. Oh, really? It's not? It's for showing up every day. They're like, hey, you made it. You get something. Now go back to the tiers. These teams can't win anything, but if they make the playoffs, they deserve a participation trophy. The playoff invite. It will be a hell of an accomplishment for any of these teams just making the postseason. 5-alarm fire. Listen. The only thing you consistently do well is about to be banned. And you are squandering the last year it's allowed. Think about what do the Eagles do well right now? A play that's maybe alive for another, how many more games the Eagles have? That's it. So I don't know how it all went this wrong this quickly, but it has. And everyone knows it's a 5-alarm fire except for Brew, whose 2 toes are currently being singed. Next, avert disaster and regroup. Listen, just win this weekend. Take a deep breath. Take your home playoff game. If you're Tampa, it is a hell of an accomplishment just getting to the postseason and winning that division when 35% of your cap is dead cap. If you're the Jags, the last 6 weeks haven't gone the way you would hope. But if you, in your home playoff game, beat a near 40-year-old Joe Flacco, guess what? You're one of 4 teams to win playoff games in consecutive years. Nobody's going to be able to say this year it maybe didn't go swimmingly, but if you make round 2, so avert disaster, win this week, and then regroup. The Clippers and the Kings. And I'm going to take you back to the NBA of last year, where you had 2 somewhat equivalent teams, and they were discussed so differently every step of the year. The Kings not taken seriously. The Kings can't be for real. The Kings are a cute, fun story. Oh, the dangerous Clippers. Oh, don't let them get hot. Nobody wants to see them. And then the playoffs came around, and the Clippers went home a week before the Kings did, and they were the same throughout the regular season, the same in the postseason. That's why I'm in the Bills and Texans. Nobody's talking about the Texans, who when C.J. Stroud's been there have been excellent throughout the season, are actually overachieving, are actually a team you can consistently rely on. Everyone's terrified of the Bills. I don't quite get it. Next, tough conversations coming. Both these quarterbacks got 1 year left on their deal. Their quarterbacks next year on the contracts on them are scheduled to make the 15th and 17th most in the NFL. So what's right between them is Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think he's going to make that money, but that's about the range they're in. Both these quarterbacks are going to be able to say, guys, we waited a year longer than we thought we were going to have to for our contracts, but we're going to go ahead and want them right now. And there's going to be some tough conversations. Because I'm not sure Detroit or Miami, despite the success of their teams, despite the success of their offenses, want to make Tua or Jared Goff their long-term $50 million a year franchise quarterback. The only way to avert that tough conversation is a deep playoff run. I don't think either one's going to do it. Check a lot of boxes, man. Has your quarterback won a Super Bowl? Sure. Do you have a future first ballot Hall of Famer on your defensive front? You bet. Are you playing your best ball at the end of the year? Yeah. Do you have a sharp coach? Has won Coach of the Year, is going to this year? No problem. So why can't either of these teams be playing in the final game of the year? Neither one is my pick to
Yep.
or the committee's pick, but they check a whole hell of a lot of boxes that other Super Bowl contenders do. 2018 Patriots, third best record in the AFC. Slumped a bit in December. Not a lot of weapons. Nobody had 1,000 yards. You have a Hall of Fame first ballot greatest tight end ever, but he's not quite the same as he once was. You got to lean on your defense more than years past. And yet, and by the way, the number one seed is a superstar quarterback in your own conference who wins the MVP, and you had to go to his building and win an epic in order to then lean on your defense to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm simply saying we've seen it happen. Fork in the road. Listen, for these two teams, one is going to feel like we are headed in the exact direction we hoped. The other is going to feel like hitting our head on the same thing. Obviously, you go to the Super Bowl for either of these teams, that's the good fork. The other one, for the Cowboys, it's we just can't beat the Niners. And for the Niners, if they lose, it will be because for the 6th straight year of the Kyle Shanahan era, they don't have that guy at quarterback. 7th straight, I should say. Undeniable juggernaut. Can't poke holes. Listen, the only thing we're worried about is they might have 11 weeks between games. Okay. No one can believe it. But they check every
like
box.
3 weeks off,
They're
Coach.
top 3 on offense and defense.
They're
at the top of the tiers. Coach, go ahead.
Nick, what I struggle with and what I struggle with the committee is the way that you describe some of these things. And you look at Jacksonville, they've had a tough time. They've been 1-4.
Yeah.
Look at the Cowboys, or Kansas City. They're 3-5 recently, or what is it? 2-3. I'm sorry.
No, but they're also they were 4-5 in their last match.
Okay, then you look at the Cowboys, and they're 2-2, but they could easily have been 1-3.
Easily.
Okay, and then you've got the Eagles sitting down here at the bottom, and I'm like, bro, I'm at least 2 toes in.
Thank you, Coach.
But I'm probably even more than 2 toes in. And let's just look at the production first. Okay, so they're going to have a 4,000-yard passer. They're going to have 2,000-yard receivers. They're going to have a 1,000-yard running back. So then they're all healthy, okay, or essentially will be healthy and be able to play. Okay, let's look at the offensive line. Pro Football Focus does a really good job. What did they just rate them? What did they just rate them? They rated the Eagles' offensive line as the #1 offensive line in the league. And then let's look at the defensive line. Defensive line has 6 #1 draft picks. So 6 out of the 8 guys were drafted in the first round, and they've got to lead the defense, and they've got to be able to produce up to the expectations. And if they are able to, which they should be able to, then the Eagles are going to make a lot of noise. Has it been bad lately? Yeah, it has been, but it's been bad lately for a lot of these teams. So to put the Eagles down at the bottom of the tiers, it's not only unfair. I mean, it's
it has not been as bad for any team above them lately, except for Jacksonville. And Jacksonville
1-4.
Yeah, I said except for Jacksonville.
Dallas
and Jacksonville,
should be 1-3.
Oh, okay, but hold on. They're not. We can do a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas, and one of Dallas's wins, one of the Eagles' losses is to Dallas, and they got annihilated.
What's Kansas City?
What do you mean?
In the last 5 games?
4-5.
That's 5 games, 2-3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not. I'm sorry. What's Philadelphia, Coach? Say it louder.
1-4. It's exactly my point. But look where you got Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And look where you got the other 2.
Yeah, because Philadelphia, their own players know it. Everyone knows it. And unlike these other teams, they are a bottom 4 unit. It's not like, oh, we have tough special teams. It's the defense which carried them last year. And their quarterback is hurt. Brew is down 8 toes on the Eagles.
Brew.
You know what, though, Coach?
Put him down, Brew.
Coach got me, toe is kind of coming out of the sock. I
Put
got
a
like
third.
a hole in the sock.
Put a third.
Go ahead.
I'm going to follow up with Coach, though. You are rewarding the Cowboys for L's. Okay, why in the what in the world have the Cowboys done to be next to the 49ers, a team that, by the way, beat them by 32? They've lost 2. They were fortunate to get their last win at home, where they're supposedly the best team in the league when they're at home. I think not. All right, they were fortunate to get that win. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games. All right, they're the only team with a winning record to lose to Miami. All right, I'm not sure Miami played that great. I just think Dallas is a tomato can adjacent on the road, and that's the other thing. They are tomato can adjacent on the road. Baltimore's not. San Francisco's not. In fact, Philadelphia's not on the road. Detroit's not on the road. Good teams can play on the road. Dallas can't for some reason.
Luckily,
they haven't scored. They're going to have to get where they want to go. They haven't scored more than 20 points in the last 3 weeks, Nick. Why in the world are they a top 3 team?
Because they're the 2 seed, and because, according to you and Coach, they likely never have to go on the road. Because Philly is in great shape.
They have to go on the road.
No, because Philly beat San Francisco. We've talked about the bracket.
If Philly beat San Francisco, guess what? They're going to feel great about going into Dallas.
I'm sure they'll feel great when they lost by 30. Go.
Quick on the Lions. Jared Goff. Are the Bears making the playoffs, Dusty? Are the Bears making the playoffs? No, right? Good. Here's Jared Goff against everybody, not the Bears. All of a sudden, the Bears have got his number, but nobody else does. 275 yards, got 25 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's a Josh special that he cooked up. Like, wow, Goff's good when he's not playing the Bears. Number 2, I just like Dan Campbell, and it's a little bit, just when I think I reached maximum like on Dan Campbell, he takes it to another level. Here he was, I think today, with Jim Costa on 97.1 The Ticket. Take a listen. He's looking for it. He literally, he wants the smoke. I thought they did say it. It's reckless. No, say it again. Say it more aggressively. Here's how aggressive he is. He's like, dudes, I am going for it regardless. So I was talking to Coach earlier, one of my sources. He's like, the aggressiveness can rear its head several ways. If you might, maybe I'll punt it, then you get longer punts. Maybe I won't punt it. You never know.
No, that is not what happened.
What he said.
That is not. I can't believe that's how you tried to stick the landing.
True.
During the commercial break, Wildes earnestly turned to Coach and was like, "So I've been thinking, the Lions fake punt so much.
Yeah.
Could they fake the fake punt and then actually punt?"
No.
Coach had,
I'm sorry. I want them to fake the fake punt. Like, oh, it's that fake punt. Fake the punt. Okay. And then fake the punt to the other side, perhaps.
Okay, this is not
Coming
what
up
you
next. Are the Cowboys on upset alert?
Also, did you
Love
think
it, Wild.
Goff played well this weekend against?
Well, I don't know. He threw a game-winning 2-point conversion that was stolen from him. So yeah.
And then a game-losing pick. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.